was that like just going back? What your first show at first show at the Underground?
Yeah, first show with the lineup that we had.
Yeah,
you know, the
with
first
the
lineup
full
we had.
lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was I believe at the Underground, November '98.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me well, and it was with Sandalwood and Mustard Seed, two stalwarts of the scene. But yeah, it was funny. It was, you know, like our first show, and like Nate said, everyone rocked up with the KFC shirts on, and I was just kind of like, this is pretty crazy. Like, you know, coming from a band that, you know, had never even thought of doing t-shirts or anything like that, it was kind of, I don't know, inspiring for me to see that you could do it like a real band, you know, and so that was, yeah, it's sort of changed my thinking on the whole thing, made it a bit more serious and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, because that was mass once that hit. So like, no, you did. Getting like, where did you guys mainly play to start off with?
we pretty much did everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much it was kind of like, if anyone asked us to play a show, we'd be like, yeah, no worries. Like, in our first year together, I think we played 60 shows, or over 60, which is like more than one a weekend, so...
We played a lot of youth centres and a lot of rec centres, like Port Noarlunga Rec Centre a lot, and played a lot of like Flinders Unibar when we could, and would be stoked with playing like Unibar shows, but a lot of the time was just wherever they asked us, like birthday parties.
Lots of skate parks.
Yeah, lots of skate parks.
And
yeah.
Played at the Underground a fair bit that year, probably. That was kind of, you know, where, you know, that whole scene was based pretty much. So the early days, that was kind of just, you know, like your stock standard place to play. If you were going to do a half decent show, it was probably there. Wasn't heaps of other venues, you know, like Enigma hadn't started yet, Fowler's wasn't there. It's pretty much the Underground or one of the unis, you know, like there wasn't heaps for, you know, just a normal show. So it's heaps handy to have that as, you know, like somewhere to start for the young bands and that sort of thing. And yeah, fully helped us out.
Got a bit of a springboard there. So, like, I just hear heaps of people always say like early STR sound, love early STR. Like, you've probably heard that. Like, what's that? Like, just describe that.
Well, early STR, the weird thing is Craig was with the band for 2 years, I say, about 2 years, and we never actually got to record him. That's like the story of our band life. We're just really slow at doing stuff.
Demo.
Yeah, we did a demo with Craig on it, and basically he had some stuff that was changing, and he decided to leave the band, and we had got a new drummer, and he'd been in the band for how many weeks? Not long, probably like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that, I think it was, wasn't it?
What are you talking about?
I thought he was with One West Vale.
Nah, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Well, what about before that? Do you guys do a demo tape? Like,
yeah, we did a demo. That I think the thing with that, it was us a lot rawer and a lot more sort of it was us sort of young and innocent and punk rock as you could be, you know, or punk rock as well you could be anyway. And it was just flat out, we weren't so concerned about, you know, like making, you know, like breakthrough songs or anything. We just wanted to do it as hard and as fast as we could, and I think that demo tape, if nothing else, sort of captured, you know, the passion that we had for that then, you know, like I think as we sort of moved on, by the time we hit our first EP, we'd sort of discovered a bit of emo and sort of had experimented with, you know, some slower stuff and had liked it, so a lot of that EP's, you know, a bit slower. But, you know, that's just us growing up, you know, like when I joined the band I was 15, and we've been going for like nearly 6.5, nearly 7 years now. And so, yeah, it's interesting that, you know, like from doing that demo tape, you know, to now like still into the same, you know, it's more or less the same style of music, and you know, it's fun to be able to experiment and grow up in the same band and do some different stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, I see. And so getting to like, this is your first like major recording. You guys talk through this one here. Where did you record this one?
Did it at Soundhouse?
Yeah, see, which is kind of like the home of the underground bands.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think just about every underground band's done it there.
yeah, definitely.
Didn't seem like many options back then.
Yeah,
It was-
the best thing going for the best price.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like talk me through just some of the lyrics on this one here.
It was all pretty. It was all still pretty blatant. I think our demo was probably the most sort of outspoken, Christian lyrics that we've had.
Yeah,
By the time we got to the EP, it was still definitely there, but I think we'd learned to do it a bit more poetically, maybe.
yeah,
It wasn't so in your face, but it was still definitely there.
yeah,
We've got songs, Holier Than Thou is just
Yeah.
about the attitude of, like thinking that you're superior to other people, it's
yeah,
an issue I had to deal with a bit.
yeah,
'Cause if you become sort of self-righteous at times and, think we've got the answer and that sort of thing, and I don't think it's about that. I think it's, everyone's at different stages of their lives and their, beliefs and everything. So I think I wrote that song just as,
Yeah.
like a wake-up call to myself to sort of not be so self-righteous and stuff. So
I think that CD is a lot us going from a demo where we decided to say whatever we want at whatever expense to there we kind of thought, well, maybe we'll try to play something which appeals to a few more people as well, trying to reach a few more people, but trying not to water down the content as much. A song on there, Nevertheless, which we still play. Now we still play a few songs off of there, and it's just like about like our struggles and stuff. I think there's a lot more like personal stuff, like the stuff we've gone through and stuff we've realised. And
it's kind of funny. There's whether you realise it or not, I've sort of noticed themes throughout each CD.
yeah,
I'm not sure if they relate to what was going on in our lives, so they probably do. The demo is written really. It's really blatant, and it's kind of like I was back then. Like, I didn't really have a lot of niceties about the way I went about, speaking about my beliefs and that sort of thing. I just sort of said, I'm like, this is how it is. This is what I believe. If you don't believe the same thing, you're wrong. And by the time I'd gotten to here, I'd realised that I actually wasn't that great either. And instead of looking at the speck in my brother's eye, I sort of turned my attention to the plank in my own, as it were. And so a lot of these songs in that EP are very inward focused. Like I'm doing this wrong, and it's all like I'm so bad, but I want to be better. Like nevertheless is like I'll fall, but I know one day that my helplessness will end, and it's all I wish I could be better than I am. By the time we've gotten to the new CD, I think it's become a lot more positive. It's like it's contrasting a lot of the bad things that happen in life and just saying that. Each song's kind of saying if you struggle through it, you'll make it eventually, and I think that's kind of what we've found through this band is that we've had some terrible times. We've had members leave, we've had some real sort of forks in the road and stuff, and I think it's just as we've persevered and stuff, it's come out pretty good in the end. So
yeah. See, no, it's a huge story for you guys, to get that album out.
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Indie bands, what indie bands go through to get
it
music
nearly
out.
didn't happen.
Mm.
It really nearly didn't happen. And the last thing I wanted to do was just let it die. We'd had these songs, we'd had a lot of those songs for a long time, and I knew that they were, a step up from what we'd done before, and I was just so scared that, the band was gonna maybe not make it to a point where we could release them and sort of show what we could do.
Mm.
And I think, it's just that's pretty much one of the main reasons I think that we just couldn't let it finish, you know, on a low.
Yeah, before that.
So.
Oh, I see. Because I guess it's like sort of tying like your Christian journey sort of thing. Like it is your Christian journey, as like it's your life, you know.
Yeah.
Like being in a punk band is your life, or being in a band is your life. So it's like the music reflects like your faith and your journey, doesn't it?
Yeah. And with us as well, we were probably a bit younger than a lot of the bands that were going around. Like Josh was 15 when he joined, and Joel, when he joined playing drums, he was 17, something like that. We were a lot younger, and we kind of grew up through music, and you can kind of see us growing up in the CDs, and yeah, it's just strange to see, like Josh saying, all the different themes that were coming out, and it was really like what was happening in our lives at the time.
It's it's not really that hard to read between the lines in our songs, really. So you know, like you can sort of pretend like some of them are about other people, like my friend, this is happening to my friend, but a lot of the time, you know, it's fairly honest with ourselves and honest with everyone, and just saying, you know, like we're just like everyone else, we stuff up all the time, and we're not proud of it, but you know, we're striving for something better, striving to do better with God, and just like everyone else, you know, like I think a lot of people see bands and put them on a pedestal, like especially when they're looking at Christian bands, they sort of put them on a pedestal and say like they've got it together. Like it was funny, our bass player Frawley had our new bass player had grown up like watching the band since he was 12, you know, and so, you know, pretty much since we started, he's been coming to our shows and been in the crowd and that sort of thing. And it was funny when he joined the band and came on tour with us, he sort of said like he was kind of shocked that we were like normal people.
Disappointed.
Yeah, I think he was like, oh, you guys do that, like you guys argue, you guys like, you know, have fights, you guys like stuff up, like, man, I really wasn't expecting that. And you know, it is true, like we just have the same struggles as everyone else, and we don't try and deny that in our music, I don't think. Like it's just part of life, and it's just, you know, by God's grace that we can move on from that and not get hung up on it and have another chance and keep having another chance, sort of thing. So yeah.
I see. And yeah, we talk. This is probably like where we want to focus the most. Like putting this together. Like how long did it take to get this together?
Time span.
We started recording it. We probably started writing for it when the other guys were still in the band. Like we demoed a lot of the songs, so that was, we're talking like early 2003. We'd probably started demoing a lot of the songs. So that's, you know, it's like 2 years basically. And then we had our bass player Jethro quit after we had a you know, busy touring schedule and just sort of personality clashes and stuff, and he ended up leaving, and then we thought we could get it back together pretty quickly, just find another bass player sort of thing. And then our drummer Joel decided to leave to join a band called Day of Content to do like a big world tour, so suddenly he was gone as well, and we were like
Stuffed.
Yeah. And so, you know, it was a process of at least 6 months to a year before we had an actual band together again, and then it was writing songs again. So we actually went into the studio March 2004.
Yeah.
So probably a whole year after the band had dispersed the first time. And we went into the studio. We had about 6 weeks in there, like 3 weeks recording, 3 weeks mixing, and yeah, like came up with that. And then then, you know, it was still, we'd lost so much momentum from breaking up the first time, or, you know, breaking up as it was before the first time, that it just took such a long time to get that going again. It's basically like starting a new band, you know. And
getting momentum going, yeah.
Yeah, so it's taken till now to actually get it out.
Do you feel like the momentum's starting to pick up